Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Law with Davida. If you're new here, my name is Davida, and here I go over law, history, and sports content for fun. I hope you all enjoy and learn something along the way. It has definitely been a while since I said that, almost 2 years, but I am 110% grateful to be back. Hopefully this brings a new start of things, and I hope you enjoy. Today we are going over if Diego Pavia wins Heisman, how will it affect his NIL compensation? So some subsectors of that I will also go into is what is NIL, my Heisman pick for 2025, and NCAA versus Alston. All right, I hope you enjoy. Before we get into everything, I definitely want to apologize for my leave of absence. What have I been doing? College, and more college. So with that being said, I'm definitely excited to start this new chapter in rebranding of Law with Davida. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, obviously we're dealing with some big words here. What is NIL? NIL is name, image, and likeness. It is a public rule that allows athletes to receive compensation for basically when they're used in any way, shape, or form. If that is public appearances, endorsements, or brand deals. So, some really good examples of that are some currently big household name athletes making huge money off of NIL currently. A good example would definitely be Arch Manning, UT's current quarterback, who made about $7 million in NIL money and brand deals this past year. He had deals with Uber, DoorDash, and various other companies to market himself in the best way possible. A good example of NIL in use is AZ Fudd and her current brand deal with SC30, which is Stephen Curry's shoe company. With this, basically, AZ Fudd was required to post social media posts on Instagram wearing Stephen Curry's shoes and marketing the shoes in a good limelight, which made not only her money through her NIL deal, but Stephen Curry money at the same time. So it was a win-win for everybody. Okay, with that, we have NCAA versus Alston, which is what all allowed NIL to come into play. It is a Supreme Court decision in 2021 that was a completely unanimous vote that outlawed NCAA's previous rules because they restricted education-based benefits for athletes, which they believe was a violation of the Sherman Act. It was monopolized business practices, which they thought was what was currently going on, which is the reason they allowed NIL in the first place. With that being said, it kind of got rid of restrictions for coaches and coaching staff and athletic staff in general. So now instead of putting a cap on what they can do, it just allowed them to really do anything that they would like. That is why some athletes receive $40,000 a semester, as to some getting an academic athletic scholarship of maybe $10,000 a year. Okay, now let's talk about the man of the hour, the Diego Pavia. For the non-Vanderbilt fans, unlike myself, because definitely anchor down, let's give a quick rundown on who Diego Pavia is. Diego Pavia is not the stereotypical Heisman finalist. He is far from the 2019 average Joe Burrow. He did not come into college with tons of football preseason hype, ESPN predictions, 5-star labels, national media coverage. His story exemplifies one of resilience and hard work. Besides his play, let's definitely talk about how he got here. He graduated from high school with no D1 offers and ended up committing to New Mexico Military Institute, also known as NMMI. He did outstanding, leading them to an NJCAA championship, throwing only one interception his entire season. He did not stop there. Then after that, he transferred to NMSU, New Mexico State University, becoming a conference champion of the year and leading the team to their first 10-season win since 1960. He then came to Vanderbilt. In 2 seasons, he has finally in 2025 led Vanderbilt to a 10-2 season for the first time in program history, along with a huge win over ranked number 1 Bama in 2024. Diego Pavia's play is not the only outstanding factor here, but it is his story, showing that greatness can arise from anywhere. This is very important from the NIL perspective because brands are no longer just buying stats. They are buying work ethic, consistency, and most importantly, life-changing stories. His ability to relate to the public changes because it shows his story. When we relate this in an NIL perspective, we talk about marketability. And stories like this are 110% marketable. That is why a Heisman for Diego Pavia changes everything. For those that may not know, what is a Heisman? The Heisman was made in 1935 in order to reward the most outstanding player in college football that year. It is by far the most prestigious award one can win in a sport. The voting categories include the fans, prior Heisman winners, and media sports journalists, which makes up a total of 928 votes, which are cast after observing one's stats, their performance, leadership, high-profile game results, and a compelling story. A Heisman usually leads to not only more money, but contract changes. For example, when an NFL player is the lead scorer in a playoff run and ends up winning MVP, or their entire team wins a championship, you almost automatically see adverts of them pop up on their TV as soon as they receive their award. This changes everything because as these ads come on the screen, it shows that they have had new contracts under the line or already in works and new sponsorships, new deals, everything of that nature. Because when they win a trophy or something of that caliber, or they get named best player in the world, that line goes with them, and it is now a part of their brand, causing a lot of brands to want to work with them. In the same way, the Heisman Trophy has the exact same effect. It leads to immediately increased revenues or contract renegotiations as the athlete is now involved in even more ads and more brand deals. The trophy can trigger contract renegotiations or eventually new endorsement opportunities. Their licensing rights become even more valuable. The image of a Heisman winner, their likeness, and their image are tied to a nationally recognizable award. This award affects their merchandise deals and the media rights of the athlete. This is where lawyers come into play because many NIL deals are not expectant of overnight Heisman winners in that kind of athletic explosion. This is where the need for legal strategy comes in and processes comes in even more. All right, now it's time for some quick fun. Who is my Heisman pick? You guessed it, Diego Pavia. As a live watcher of Diego Pavia, I have seen him work with Clark Lee and other various athletes to collectively turn around Vanderbilt football. Not only is his story amazing, but his stats 100% speak for themselves. He is the only college football player currently with 480 passing yards and 5 touchdowns in a 2025 game. He had 3,192 passing yards this year, leading Vanderbilt to their first 10-win season in 2025. The stats and story collectively speak for themselves. All right, everyone, that concludes today's video. I really appreciate you all's time. Thank you for all of you who made it to the end, and I appreciate those who have been there since I've been at 100 subscribers to now 1,600 of y'all. I am very, very, very grateful. I hope you enjoyed today's video. God bless. Bye-bye.